Hi, my name is Justin Sweeney. I'm an immigration attorney and have been practicing immigration law for over 5 years. And I've had my own office for now 3 years, helping hundreds and even thousands of people obtain green cards, work permits, citizenship, and defending people that are in immigration deportation proceedings. This video is in response to rumors and reports that President Trump will potentially take away the DACA, the Deferred Action Program, potentially states suing regarding that program, and also addressing what my solution to the immigration issue would be. Number one, it's important to realize what the Deferred Action Program is and what it is not. Terms like path to citizenship get thrown around a lot, and that's totally not what it is. Deferred action is basically an acknowledgement that ICE has a list of priorities of deportable people. Now, technically, anyone here that undocumented is deportable. But what we're saying is, and Congress, by the way, doesn't dedicate the money or resources needed to deport all of the estimated 12 million undocumented people here. So ICE has to make priority lists. Who do we want to deport? Well, obviously we want to deport aggravated felons. We want to deport people that have drug crimes. We want to deport people that have multiple entries and exits and have been caught at the border. We want to deport people that are using fake documents to enter, things like that. But people that we may not want to deport are, people that are here only because they were brought here as small children. People that are have no crimes whatsoever, or if they do very small misdemeanor infractions. People that are in school, people that are working. And that's what the Deferred Action Program is. It's basically an acknowledgement that in the list of priorities that ICE has made, these people are at the very, very bottom. And we are not going to deport them because we literally do not have the means to deport them. And so because of that, and we are going to give them what's called deferred action status, and that will allow them to get a work permit. And that's all it is a work permit. It's a 2-year renewable work permit that allows them to get a real Social Security number, start paying taxes. One of the arguments on the right is that these people are mooching off the system, and well, they don't have Social Security numbers to pay taxes, and they can't usually get jobs or any good paying jobs. And it's, again, it's a little bit hypocritical to chastise somebody for taking out benefits for their kids, their U.S. citizen kids, not them, for their kids, while denying them legal status and denying them a work permit and denying them a Social Security number. Well, of course, if you force them into these extremely low-paying jobs, they're not going to have the means to provide for their families. So, anyway, this work permit, it's valid for 2 years. It gets them a work permit and a Social Security number. It allows them to be here legally and basically sleep well at night, knowing that this is kind of my get-out-of-jail-free card. I'm not going to be deported, which they're not going to anyway, because again, we don't have the resources to deport all 12 million. Congress has not given ICE the resources to do that. And so these mass deportations that Trump talks about a lot are not even possible. We literally don't have the manpower to do it. And it's not a path to citizenship, by the way. And for almost all people, it's not even a path to a green card either. And so all it is a renewable work permit. And so that's what the Deferred Action Program does. It's a great program. The Deferred Action for Parental Accountability, basically the similar program for parents, was denied because of Texas and several other states sued the federal government for passing the law because it was an executive action, executive order. And it ended up going all the way to Supreme Court, and then the lower court's ruling was upheld simply for the fact that they tied 4-4 in the Supreme Court because the Republican Congress would not appoint or confirm the President Obama's Supreme Court nomination. So, and during all this political mess and nightmare, there's literally millions of people who are suffering every day, and I see them every single day in my office, worried about what's going to happen. And many of whom are good, hardworking, honest people that have done nothing wrong in their lives and literally just want the ability to work in this country. Of all of my experience in law and dealing with people from all over this country and all sorts of different races and ethnic groups. And I would say that the Latino community, and most of my clients are from Mexico, are some of the hardest working, most humble people. And they're not actually taking out government benefits, the vast majority of them. And mostly because they're scared to do it, because they believe it'll affect their immigration status if they're ever able to apply for anything. So what is a solution to the current immigration problem? You have to be able to pull support from both sides to be able to pass any type of law. So what I'm going to say is what should appeal to everyone on both sides, or at least as some sort of compromise to both sides. Now, the number one thing, you have the wall that President Trump has said he's going to build and waste billions of dollars doing. And you also, it's going to cost us about $6 billion to do that, and that is an estimate. How about we dedicate those resources to tightening up the borders, right? If you really want to stop illegal immigration, tighten up the borders. The wall does nothing. Literally, we already have a wall in many parts of the border. People are going to find a way around it, through it, over it, under it. The wall, unless it's monitored by actual human beings, is not going to do much. Dedicate more time and resources to the Customs and Border Patrol and get people at the border to catch people coming in illegally. One way to deter illegal immigration is to make it easier to get here legally. Right now, if you are from Mexico, for example, which is the most popular country to immigrate from, our southern border, you have to wait for anywhere from 2 to 20 years or more to get a family-based visa. If you're trying to file for your brother, or you're trying to file for your child who is now older than 21, it's going to take up to 20 years. And so they're faced with the decision, do I do it legally, or do I just come in illegally and accept the fact that I'm going to be working in the fields or working in other low-paying jobs just to provide a better opportunity for my family? Given the dangerous conditions in Mexico, most people, and impoverished conditions, most people elect the latter. They decide to come in illegally just to seek a better life for their family, and they know that they may never get status, but their kids will, and their kids generally assimilate very well into the United States. So those are two ways to stop illegal immigration. Then you're dealt with, what do we do with the 12 million people that are here? They generally fall into two categories. One are people that are just honest, hardworking, never done anything wrong in their lives. And the other people are those that have criminal issues. We'll deal with those first. Those who have criminal issues, they should, if they are inadmissible based on their crime, according to the law today, in a just system, again, to kind of appease the right as well, you would need to put them into deportation proceedings, but allow them the opportunity to present a defense. And if they can fight their deportation in court, allow them to do that. And that's where a really good, experienced immigration attorney comes in. Then the rest of the people that don't have criminal issues, right, that aren't facing deportation, we have to do something with them. It is inhumane to continue to profit off of their cheap labor and not give them any type of legal status. And so that's where this solution would come in. You create a DACA-like program that allows work permits. People that are here already, they have to prove they were here when the law passed so that we don't get a rush at the border when the law passes. Prove that they're here when the law passes. Prove that they don't have any significant crimes. Prove that they're either going to school or graduated from school or are working, and that they can they can file for this work permit. This does a couple things, like we've already mentioned. It allows them to get a Social Security. They can now start paying taxes. They can sleep well at night knowing they're not going to get deported. They can get better jobs. Also, you could inform those who are more maybe towards the right political leaning that you now have their information. And if they do commit serious crimes, you can now put them into deportation proceedings. Because one of the main reasons why we can't round these people up, if that's what you wanted to do, is we don't know where they are. So, but again, the vast majority, 95% of them are good, hardworking people, and they just want help. Let them file for their work permits. Let them have to renew it. Require them to renew this 2-year work permit, say 4 or 5 times. That's 8 to 10 years but at least they have a work permit while they wait, but that they continue to renew, prove they're going to be good behavior, prove that they're working, they're going to school, and being a good person, a good citizen. Then allow them to file for their green card by themselves. They don't need a family member, they don't need a spouse. They just file for their own green card application, proving good behavior under this work permit program. When they do that, they get to file for their green card. Once they have their green card for 5 years, under current law, they can file for citizenship. They have to prove when they file for citizenship, not residency, that they can speak English, read and write English, and that they are, that's even a higher bar to become a citizen rather than a resident. At any point during this time, if they're committing crimes, they would get in trouble and potentially be put into deportation proceedings or lose their work permit or their green card. This is a common sense immigration reform. It's not like the amnesty program where they just wake up one day and are granted green card. But it is a path towards residency, which then is a path towards citizenship. And that is what is fair and just. Ironically, one of President Trump's recent recommendations is that we force immigrants to speak English and become higher educated. He claims that this is because the current immigrants that are here are stealing American jobs. Well, number one, that's false. There are no people with legal status willing to do the jobs that current immigrants are doing. And second, if you only allow high-level immigrants to immigrate this country that are well-educated and already speak English, those are people that are going to be stealing jobs from Americans, not the people that are doing what I'm going to say are low-skill work. Even though I have worked in the vineyards here in Fresno many times, it is the hardest, worst work that a person can do. But most of these people do it happily, and they work. Again, like I said, they're the hardest working people that I know. And they get paid pennies on the dollars, and it's time for us to stop profiting off this cheap labor, pay them a reasonable wage, give them legal status, and then allow them to become residents if that is what they so choose to do. In closing, the immigration issue is complicated. It inflames a lot of passions on both sides, but there are solutions that if we stop and think about the actual consequences and just ignore politics for a minute and really want a solution, you can actually come up with one. And this is a common sense immigration reform that would affect the lives of millions of people for the better, including our own economy, which depends on agriculture, depends on construction, depends on the service industries. And again, these people, by and large, hardworking, honest, dependable, good people that want to stay here and live here, and their kids and themselves assimilate really well, especially once they're given legal status. And so if you ever have any need, or you question your legal status, or you're wondering if you're eligible for certain things, including DACA, or if you're in court proceedings or need help, please call my office at 559-440-6067. My consultations are always free, and I will tell you how I can help you, if I can help you, and how much it would be, how much it would cost. Again, I have had a very large success rate, won thousands of cases with immigration, and it's all I do all day, every day. I love my job, and I hope that I can help you in your case. Thanks.